What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with a quick update video on how Clenbuterol is going. It's not going good. I was terrified of this drug out the gate for a number of reasons. One, because I play games with a lot of shit in my cycles and take a lot of risks, I feel like, and I'm already stressing my heart more than I think I reasonably should be. And to take a drug that is known to have, they say it's cardiotoxic. There are definitely studies saying that clenbuterol is cardiotoxic, that it is very damaging to the heart. I was taking an exceptionally small dose. And so real quickly, I'm going to go over why I did not take any today and why I probably am not going to take any more, period. So quick recap. The first day, my wife and I both took half of a 40 milligram tab. So we both took 40 microgram tab. So we both took 20 micrograms. She has had zero side effects still to this day. She's been taking 20 micrograms a day, every day for like a week now, or like 5 days now. I took 20 micrograms on day one. Then on day two, I took 20 micrograms in the morning and 20 micrograms in the afternoon. And I had bad experience. I was feeling very, very amped up, high levels of sympathetic drive that ended up causing chest pains, some very acute chest pains. And then later on that night, I started getting, this headache was kind of lingering. It was like coming on slowly in the evening after I took my second dose, and it just got progressively worse and worse until later in that night, around like 9 o'clock, it was just uncontrollable, massive crushing headache. I took Tylenol, it had zero effect on the headache, and I think I reported in my previous video, we skipped all adult activities and just went to bed. So the following day I woke up and decided to cut the dose substantially smaller. I took 10 micrograms in the morning, 10 micrograms in the afternoon, went to the gym, had a phenomenal day. Everything on day 3 was just banging. I was feeling amazing. I thought, okay, sweet. I found the sweet spot is what I thought. I found the sweet spot, 10 micrograms twice a day. I'm in the money. And then, so I tried to repeat that on day 4, which was yesterday. I got up, I took 10 micrograms in the morning. I was feeling it. I had a great day at work. Everything was going good. Very driven, very motivated. I was still getting all of the same side effects. The temporarily raised body temperature. Well, I don't know if it was temporary. Raised body temperature, increased heart rate, lots of sympathetic drive, just lots of intensity. Everything was really great at work. I came home from work. About 5 o'clock, I took my second 10 microgram dose. It was not a gym day. And we sat around the house. We're just hanging out watching TV. And again, just like the day before, this headache started to come on. It slowly got worse and worse and worse. And then by about 8:30-ish, 9 o'clock at night, I had gone into my bedroom to lay down because I wasn't really feeling good. And I checked my pulse. And my pulse was like 106 beats a minute. And so I have like a pulse ox, that you put on your finger. And so I laid there for a while monitoring my pulse because I was feeling bad. I could feel the headache rising again. And my pulse was like 105, 106 beats a minute. And then it would come down like almost a beat a minute. It would slowly come down. Then it hovered around like 100. Then it would drop down to 90, then go back up. That started scaring me. If it had just been maintaining a specific, if I had just been maintaining a high beats per minute, but it was steady, then I would have felt more confident that this is just the activity of the drug. So my wife and I both reported in the first couple of days that the dosage of clenbuterol was raising our pulse rate by about 5 beats per minute was all. And then by day 3, not only was I having a sustained elevated pulse, but I was having sustained elevated body temperature. So that night when I was not feeling good, my wife checked my body temperature. It was like 99.7 or 99.5. And then I started checking my pulse ox, and my pulse was massively elevated. So she was like, I think you're getting in your head. Like, I think that I think there's a mental factor to this, because once I start looking at data, obviously you can start to create anxiety. You can have a lot of issues going on. So I took Xanax, actually like an hour earlier than I would normally take it. I was considering taking aspirin, but I didn't. I took Xanax, and I took, I think in headache medicine. And the headache medicine did not work, did not stop the headache. And my pulse just continued to be extremely variable. So after the Xanax, and it could have just been, the drug was working its way out of my system also. But by 10 o'clock at night, my pulse would get down to like 90 beats a minute. It would hover around 90, and it would climb back up to 100. And it would hang out at 100, then it would go back down, then it would go back up. I think that's an arrhythmia. I think that's what that's called. I was concerned, again, if my pulse had been staying in one place, and or I wasn't feeling bad on top of everything else and having crushing headaches, then I might have, I'm always trying to find ways to overcome things. Like, I don't know what's going on with this spot on my beard. It's like, I don't know if I nicked it somehow. It's like, I have like a spot here I can't get rid of. It's making me mental. Maybe I buzzed it too short, like cut a hole in my beard. Anyway, I try everything I can to make a drug work. That's how I've been running Trenbolone for 3 consecutive years almost, is because I found a way to tame the beast, as my wife says. The Clenbuterol is kicking my ass right now. And for me, the positives have not been outweighing the negatives. Like, if I'm sleepy and tired, I can take modafinil and have far fewer side effects. I don't love that drug either, but I can take it and have basically no side effects, comparable to the Clenbuterol, which is coming with a whole host of them. Not to mention the fact, and maybe this is just me being panicky, I don't know. I still can't figure out why I'm feeling it so acutely and my wife is not. Somebody tried to argue that, because it's micrograms, there's no way it's evenly distributed in the pill. And it's like, you know what, dude, I might be willing to go with you on that, except she got the bad half 5 consecutive days in a row. Okay, there's no chance of that. And she's even now, since I started going to my own dosing, she's been breaking a single pill in half, taking half one day and half the next. So clearly somewhere in there, she's getting the total 20 microgram dose, and she's experiencing no psychological effects from it. She's had the very slight increase in pulse, no real increase in body temperature, none of the come down, come up, anxiety. She did have some headaches. She thinks that's due to her allergies. I think it's the Clen, but I don't know. She does not seem to be experiencing the excruciating headaches I had. The last time I took the Clen was yesterday, and I had a really, really horrific headache last night that I ended up treating with alcohol, actually. So there was that. I guess I should be, if I'm gonna be totally honest, we drank like, what is that? What size is that bottle in there?
I have to look. 375 milliliters?
We drank 375 milliliters of Hypnotic last night. We fell in love with Hypnotic. In fact, we went to the liquor store tonight and bought Hypnotic and Kinky.
Yeah.
Let me see that bottle. Let me see both of them. So this is our new experiment. So I've gone from steroids and Clenbuterol to now I have gone to steroids and Hypnotic. If you've never tried it, you should check it out. It is phenomenal. And Kinky. We picked up Kinky because Kinky is a combination of, it's a naughty fusion. A naughty fusion of mango, passion fruit, and blood orange. Now, I know what some of you are about to say, Mike, what are you doing? You can't drink alcohol, it shuts down protein synthesis. I know. This is another thing that I'm willing to confess in this video. I've told you guys what a raging alcoholic I used to be, and I've told you that using performance-enhancing drugs has been the thing that has kept me clean and sober. One of the catches to that truth is that I stay clean and sober while I'm bulking. When I'm bulking, I will not do anything to cost myself gains. I do not drink at all. I do not do anything to negatively affect my cycles, which are at this point permanent. So like for the last 40 something plus weeks, I might have had maybe one drink, maybe. So when I'm dedicated to growing, I basically have no fun outside, like I don't do drugs, I don't drink alcohol, nothing. So I got the bright idea that since I was cutting, it wouldn't be the end of the world to have a little bit of alcohol. And these are liqueurs. So they only have 17% alcohol by volume. It's less than half. You can put these back before they get hot. It's less than half of the alcohol in a single shot of like vodka. So I almost thought she was fucked. Did you see that panic right there? Don't drop the babies. The babies. Gotta be careful of the babies. So the thing about the liqueur is I can drink, like twice as much volume and get the same small amount of alcohol. So like last night, we had enough to just get slightly loose. I know this was supposed to be a video about Clen. This is what happens. This is just the truth. So all of this to say, I had crushing headache and what I think is a heart arrhythmia. I would have been okay if my pulse was staying somewhere. Like if it elevated 5 beats a minute and stayed there. If it elevated to 100 and stayed there. If it had elevated to 105 and stayed there and I wasn't having a crushing headache and otherwise just feeling like shit, I would probably still be on the Clen. When I'm watching my pulse go up and down, 10 beats a minute at a time, hovering in one place, and that to me is just, that's a bad sign. I don't know why, I just cannot see how that is a positive. So I had on just 2 10 microgram doses of Clenbuterol, I managed to have my body temperature rise to like 99. It was definitively 99.5 at one time. I can't remember if it got to 99.7. It was definitely 99.5. I definitely had pulse increase all the way to 105. And when I say 105, that's after me laying in bed watching Yellowstone for an hour. So I'm just laying dead still in bed, doing absolutely nothing but watching TV, have a pulse 105, drop to 95, go back up to 106, eventually taper down to 90. The Xanax didn't really control it. The headache medicine didn't change anything at all, had no effect. We had the drinks after adult activity. So the only thing that actually made me feel better, and this is sort of the catch. This is the caveat to the whole experiment. Maybe someone in the audience can make this make sense. I felt like death until we had adult activity that jacked that shot my pulse up over 120 and got the blood flowing. Okay? After adult activity, my headache went away and I started feeling substantially better. So the 2 nights that I had a crushing headache and felt very bad in the evening were coincidentally the 2 nights that I did not go to the gym. Both nights that I had 2 doses of Clenbuterol and went to the gym, I felt perfectly fine. The night that I chose to stay home and take the Clen, I had crushing headaches and effed up pulse and all of these things and felt bad. So I don't know what the conditions were on the nights that I went to the gym because I didn't bother to check because I didn't feel bad. So it's possible that I've been experiencing these effects even on the good days and just didn't notice it. The other thing worth mentioning is that I've had no negative perceptual effects on the daily dose when I'm running all over town in the car. So when I'm running around, going from door to door, going to customer, constantly moving in and out, constantly, driving myself, I feel totally fine. But when I take the Clen and then sit at home watching TV, it all falls apart and ends up with massive crushing headaches and just a generally bad feeling. Before adult activity, I was actually going to ask my wife to go for a walk with me to see if I could test the theory that getting my pulse up would make me feel better. Then we did adult activity. That got my pulse up, made me feel better. So that's great. But none of that changes the fact that I can't really commit to taking a drug that is going to give me heart arrhythmias because I didn't go to the gym, and I can't know for sure whether they were. I think this is arrhythmia. Somebody's going to get on me. I don't know the definition. I think that's arrhythmia. I know tachycardia is if you have a pulse over 100, like when you're sitting still, and then there's a fibrillation. And I can't remember if the fluctuating pulse is an arrhythmia or fibrillation. I don't know. Whatever the hell that is, it was not okay with me. So I took no Clen at all today. I woke up very, very, very easily in the morning, which I've been able to get out of bed very easily on the Clen. That's been one of my favorite things. It's been keeping me awake. It's been sleep seems considerably more restful, or at least I'm just less groggy in the morning. And so that's been my favorite effect of the Clen. I felt great all day long. I had an unbelievably good day at work. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil it. Like, it's done, but I'm not paid yet. Until I get paid, I don't want to ruin it. But I hit a home run today of epic proportions at work. Basically made my year. So things could not be going better at work right now. And I just don't feel like it's not worth it to continue to risk all the success that I'm having over something that I really have no business taking. Like, yeah, I'm in a cut. Yes, the cut is going really well. My morning body weight is down to 205 from 211. So I'm down 6 pounds in the morning, but it looks like my midsection is really cleaning up. I'm running out of fat on my front to pin peptides, HCG, GH. I'm having to sort of move around to my love handles to find good tissue or adipose tissue to pin into. So my abs are looking way better. I'm down an entire pant size, so I'm back into 32-inch jeans. So the cut is going phenomenally. I'm sure the Clen has had some effect on that over the last few, 3 or 4 days, but it's just absolutely not worth the. Honestly, if it wasn't for the crushing headaches, I would probably put up with the rest of it. I'm such an idiot, and I care so little about my health that if it was not for the crushing headaches, I would probably not worry tremendously about the the heart arrhythmia. Like, who cares, right? No big deal. It's just your heart. I would probably get over it. I'm just being honest. If it was not for the crushing headaches, I would probably continue. I would probably still be attempting this. I'm not saying I'm not going to use any more of it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to dial it back to 10 milligrams once a day, or stick to once a day dosing, or only take it when I go to the gym. Or maybe if I try it again and the headache starts coming on a day that I'm not in the gym, I'll go pound a bunch of laps around the block and see if that makes it go away. But all in all, right now, I feel like it's too risky for me and my unique chemistry I just don't think it's worth the risk. I don't need any help cutting. And while it's nice to be, really awake and alert, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to weigh the pros and cons. The libido has been awesome too, but I can't rule out that that's not part of what's probably going to be another video, which is, I think, my testosterone. I'm now 2 days without 8X, and my gyno is not returning. So I think the aromatizable compounds in my system have reduced to the point that I'm no longer needing Arimidex to control it. So we could be coming up on an estrogen crash very, very soon. We'll just see. I don't know if I doubt that HCG and 300 milligrams of DECA is going to be enough to maintain physiological amounts of estrogen, but who knows? Given how estrogenic I have been, you can't rule anything out. It's possible that I'll be perfectly fine on nandrolone alone. I doubt it. I think that what we have here is there's going to be a slow decrease in my total estrogen level. And eventually, when I lose interest in my wife, I'll know that it's tanked. And at that point, I will probably get blood work so that I can start the administration of estradiol valerate to bring it back up. So there's still a lot of experimentation to be going on this channel as far as what I'm doing with my hormone cocktail. As of now, I have been 1 solid week off of testosterone. I have had 0 testosterone in 1 full week. I am I'm taking 140 milligrams of Tren Ace per week in 20 milligram per day, actually in 10 milligram twice a day dosing. I'm taking 300 milligrams of Nandrol and decanoate, also known as Deca, and 300 milligrams of Masteron. So that's where we're at right now as far as androgens, and I am feeling phenomenal. My cut is in full force, and aside from the crushing headaches that I was getting from the Clenbuterol, that was actually a really enjoyable experiment. I think I'm going to pause it for now. So I'm interested to see in the comments if anybody else has had this experience. What do you think about the rising and falling heart rate? Is that something that you experienced in the early going with Clen? Will it go away if I stay the course? Am I going to die on the Clen? What is going on with the Clen? Please, in the comment section below, let me know. I think my wife eventually is going to try upping her dose to 20 milligrams twice a day, but we'll see. Have you decided on that?
No, I'm not decided.
She's not decided. She has a new video out. Go check out my wife, @TheWife, on YouTube. She's at 599 subscribers. And I got to be honest with you guys, she's been looking at her phone all day trying to see it click over to 600. We're really trying to get her to 1,000. I think she will make a lot more content if she can get monetized. It's hard to, draw yourself away from your kids and your family and your chores to sit down and make YouTube videos when there's absolutely no incentive to do it. So I think if we can get her up to 1,000 subscribers, she'll be a lot more active on YouTube, and that will be fun for some people in the audience. So there you have it. Clenbuterol has not been the home run that I thought it might be, but we'll see how it goes in the future. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.